Welcome back to Stardew Valley. I am your host, longtime listener. Be sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and comment below. It is the first of fall. Our gold pickaxe is ready. It's gonna be clear weather tomorrow, and it's a very happy day for the spirits. So we're gonna have good luck today, although it probably won't matter too much. Because today, being the first day of fall, the obvious thing on the agenda is to plant our crops. That's the big one. We'll also try and swing by Clint's to pick up our pickaxe. And I don't know if we'll have a whole lot of time to do much else, so maybe what we might do is just kind of do our typical foraging run. And then, clean up around the farm a little bit, because as you can see, there are some stray rocks and branches that got plopped down. Now, I talked about this at one point earlier in the series, where if you have sprinklers down and crops that are still occupying those spots, like the blueberries were, those tilled chunks of soil get watered by your sprinklers. So that's good, because we won't have to do much watering. We'll just have to till the areas that we still need to plant crops, and then water those areas. So it shouldn't take us too long to get the fields prepped and ready for the planting. Now, one thing that I forgot is that the corn sticks around for this season, and I bought 48 pumpkin seeds, but we won't need that many. We'll only need 40. And then on top of that, we still have pumpkin seeds left over from, they were a community center, or a museum reward that we got. So we've got some extras, but not a big deal. Now, I need to smash that rock, but I don't have my pickaxe, so I can't do it. So we'll have to come back and do that later. We're going to put fertilizer down everywhere that we're going to plant crops. So that should increase the quality level of the crops that we harvest for the most part. So that'll help. But it's going to be a busy day, because we got to do all this. We got to head to Pierre's and buy our crops. We got to come back and plant them. There will be some that we'll need to water. We got to get to Clint's and get our pickaxe. So that's going to take up most of our time for the day, and then we might have time to maybe swing by the hidden forest and get some hardwood, do a little bit of running around the map to look for forageable goods, because there are going to be some new ones that are available that will help us complete the fall foraging bundle in the community center. So it is fall, y'all. Oh, another thing that brings in terms of new stuff to do is different fish that are eligible to be caught. So maybe that is something we might do today for a minute or two if we've got time, but probably not, honestly. I do kind of plan on knocking those out. There's only 6 that we need to catch for the season. The salmon and tiger trout are both available between the hours of 6 and 7 in the river. The walleye is available after noon in the river. And let's see, the sea cucumber is available from up until 7 p.m. in the ocean. The albacore is a weird one, because you can either catch it before 11 or after 6 in the ocean. And then the midnight carp is one that's kind of tough to get just because of the time that it's available. It's only available after 10 o'clock in the mountain lake is where we'll try and catch that one. So it's not a huge list, and thankfully none of them are real high difficulty level as far as I remember. So we should be able to catch them as long as we just are in the right place at the right time. So alright, we got most of our work done there at the farm in terms of preparing for crops. Now we will head into the town, and we got a cutscene. George is like, rotten mailman put this letter way in the back where he knows I can't reach it. There is no mailman, by the way. Who delivers the mail in Pelican Town? And why does only George have a mailbox? Are there mailboxes at any of the other houses? I don't really remember, now that I think of it. Gus doesn't have a mailbox. And where does Gus... Oh, I guess Gus lives in the back of the Stardrop Saloon. So why doesn't he have a mailbox? And why is he just standing outside in this cutscene when he's not relevant to the cutscene? And what was I doing right there? Anyway. So Penny's trying to help. And George gets all kind of like Grumposaurus about it. And I come over and say, I saw what happened. You did a very kind thing there, Penny. Penny is just a kind soul, and George is kind of like embarrassed that he was rude. So he apologizes. Good for him. Takes a strong man to apologize and know and admit when they are wrong. A strong person in general. And by the way, George's last name, as you saw there, is Molnar. And I don't know if anybody else in Pelican Town has last names, now that I think about it. It must be difficult to grow old. And I say, well, it's just a different part of life. So, there you go. That's a Penny cutscene. At least I believe that's a Penny cutscene. I think so. It's not necessarily a George cutscene. Although, you can kind of see him maybe start to realize what a rotten, grumpy person he generally is. So we'll swing up around here, and we're looking for the two items that we still need for the fall foraging bundle are a common mushroom and a hazelnut. And we should be able to find them hopefully before too long. And I believe your prize for that is just fall wild seeds, which we will just turn around and sell. I don't want to deal with planting them. I don't know if we really covered this, but when you plant those seasonal wild seeds or whatever, basically what you get is a random mix of the foraging items that go into crafting those. So like for the fall, it's the common mushroom, hazelnut, blackberry, and what the heck's the other one? I don't remember. But like in the spring, it's the horseradish, the leek, daffodil, and dandelion. So you plant them, and then you get a mixture of those items. So you could hypothetically just do an endless cycle of plant those, craft more bundles to get more seeds, and you'll get more seeds than you know the number of items that it took to make those seeds. So you could make a massive field of wild seeds in a hurry. But I like to have the uniformity of all like groups of crops for the most part. So anyway, what we bought here, the 48 pumpkin seeds, 3 amaranth, 2 bok choy, 3 yams, 144 cranberries, 2 fairy seeds, and 3 eggplant. Yeah. So, we are prepared to plant crops now. But we'll continue swinging through the Pelican Town area. You see Pam doesn't have a mailbox. Lewis doesn't have a mailbox. There's a mailbox by the museum, which is interesting because I don't ever remember interacting with that mailbox at any point. So, that's unusual. But here we are. We got our gold pickaxe. So that'll make mining much more efficient now. As in those lower levels, it should pretty much be one swing to break almost all of the rocks and such that we encounter, with the exception of those big rocks that we might actually take the time to smash now just to collect stone. Because we'll start needing stone for, you know, some of our upgrades around the farm for one thing. But if we're going to do some decorating of the farmstead, it'll be nice to have a bunch of stone if we want to do like stone path or whatever. So we'll see. Now we come down here and get another cutscene. It's that point in the game where I've made friends with people enough to the point where we're going to get a bunch of cutscenes, which, you know, they extend some of the episodes, but they add some character to the game. Now here comes Vincent, and he's sad because Dad's been off at the war for a long time, and he asks his brother if their dad's ever going to come home. And Sam's trying to cheer him up and say, of course he's going to be home. And Vincent's been hearing all kinds of stuff about, you know, the troops getting shot up at the war. So, as you can imagine, a young child hearing about war is probably not a good thing. So, anyway, Sam cheers him up, and he goes back and plays with his little sand castle, which is a pretty good sandcastle for a little kid, gotta say. Good job, buddy. And so, there's Sam, and he's like, man, I don't know what I should tell Vincent, you know, about this stuff. And I say, you know, you did the right thing. Kids should have hope. I don't know what the feedback is if you say you should be honest with kids, but in a scenario like this, I think a white lie is the more prudent choice of the two. So, yeah, and here you see the band is coming together, and Abigail's a good drummer, and Sebastian seemed to really want her in the band. So that may indicate that those two get hooked up if we don't marry either of them, which we will not. You know, we're actually, in terms of relationships, we're pretty far along with Haley, obviously, and we've given her the bouquet to make her our girlfriend. But I actually have considered changing gears and going with Maru simply because she's also like 6 hearts, and it wouldn't take a whole lot more effort to get her up to, there's Elliot's house, by the way. It wouldn't take a ton of more effort to get her up to where we could make her our girlfriend, which would get awkward, I suppose. So we won't do that, but it did cross my mind simply because I've only ever married Haley in my playthroughs, which is kind of weird. Like, I don't know why I've done that, but it's just something that I never really paid much attention to be honest. So, my next playthrough for sure, we're going to marry Maru just to mix it up a little bit. That's assuming I do another playthrough, which is almost a guarantee. There we got our common mushroom. Come down here, and Haley is too involved with our camera to even notice us, which is kind of messed up considering she's now my girlfriend and can't even stop for like 2 seconds to just, you know, give me a hug or a little peck on the cheek or whatever. So, yeah, it's 3:30, and I'm trying to think of what else we need to do once we get back to the farm. And really, it's just plant the crops, because I did all the watering. So, there's that one stone that I'll need to break, but that's not a big deal. And then we can maybe do a little bit of cleanup in terms of some of the other branches. And remember in the last episode, there was those 2 little weeds that I missed, and see how much they spread just because it became fall. There's another mushroom. And so that should pretty well, with that rock smash, should pretty much clean up all of Cindersap Forest. So pretty much everywhere around town, there's not going to be any stray weeds or branches for a long time. So anyway, one thing I actually have never quite figured out is the dynamic of how trees either continue to grow or not grow once it becomes winter. Because like some grow, some don't. Some, if you have tappers in there, will still produce an item, but like only one. Like they don't keep producing. I don't know. Anyway, it's not a big deal. It's just, if anybody knows how the tree growth system works in winter and could comment in the comments below, that would be just a nice little tidbit of knowledge for the viewing audience. So anyway, what's on the to-do list for tomorrow? I guess we'll talk about that now that we're going to be heading back to the farm and just doing some general cleanup here and planting these crops. So tomorrow is the 2nd. It's a Tuesday, which generally doesn't mean much. Now, we can't go to Marnie's because she's closed. And I feel like we have a barn upgrade going, don't we? To where we'll have access to the goats. Did we do that? I can't remember. I think we did. But anyway, it's Penny's birthday. She loves emerald. And we've got a couple in our mining chest, so we'll give her some. There's a tree that I need to put a tapper in. And I think that will leave just one more there in the top left. And then I just need to decide what I want to do in the bottom right, as far as cutting down that last tree and replanting it. I think I'll do it just because it needs to be done for perfect symmetry down there. So anyway, tomorrow it's Penny's birthday. We'll give her an emerald, and then there's really honestly nothing else on the to-do list. So we might go fishing or mining depending on the level of luck. So if it's a bad luck day, or even like as low as a neutral luck day, we'll probably just go fishing and try and catch. Oh, my inventory's full, so I'm gonna come back and get the eggs. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, fishing. We'll probably try and maybe catch the river fish if it's a poor luck day. So that's on the plans for tomorrow. And then for the next episode, it's pretty much the same thing, y'all. The plans for the fall in general are going to be, if it's a good luck day, we might go mining. If it's a bad luck day, we do, fishing or foraging, respectively. Because once we catch all the fish, we'll probably stop fishing for the most part. Unless we get like a help wanted ad where somebody wants a salmon or whatever. So, yeah, it's 7:50. I still got to plant these crops, finish with the animals, and then maybe do a little bit of cleanup. So it's going to be a long day because we're already 18 minutes in to the episode. But it's, it's the first day of fall. Lots to do. We're staying busy. And I'm just kind of all over the place right now. Now I gotta grab it. Now I decided to plant 9 of those rare seeds rather than 8, because I don't want to have to deal with crafting another sprinkler. I could, but it's not a big deal. I'd rather have the 3,000 bucks for the extra rare seed. So when I harvest those, it'll be we'll keep 1 to give to the statue in the hidden forest. And that will get us a star drop, which will increase our energy bar. So that's good. We're going to plant a couple extra pumpkins there since we have corn occupying some of the space that we intended to have it done. But anyway, we'll keep 1 for the statue. We'll keep 1 for making a wine. I think you can make rare seed wine. Or sweet gemberry wine. I can't remember, honestly. If we can, we'll keep 1 and just start doing that. And then we'll keep another just to have. Because it might be a good item to put on the Grange display, which is for the Fall Festival. An item that we definitely want to win. And another thing that happens at the Fall Festival is it's a legit festival, like it's the county fair, and so there are like parlor games that you can play or whatever. You can hit the little thing to see how strong you are. There's a little fishing mini game, I believe, and then there's a wheel that you can spin. That it's green on one side and orange on the other, And if the arrow lands on green and you bet on green, you win. It's that simple. So you bet on a color, however much money, and then you win or lose accordingly. Now, there is a pretty well-known fact that the odds, I can't remember which color is the higher odds, but let's say it's green. So if you bet on green every time, the odds of winning are 75%. Okay, so like it's fixed. You know, you just basically, I think you have to buy credits that you can only spend at the fair. But anyway, you buy credits, you bet half of them, and it's more than likely that you're going to win. Okay, and then you double your money essentially from whatever you bet. So if you bet 10, you get 20 out of it, and now you've got 30. We'll say bet 15 this time, and then if you win, you get the picture. So you can rack up money or credits real quick. And then one of the things that you can buy at the festival is another star drop. So I think it's 2,000, but it is definitely worth taking the time to execute that strategy and get yourself the star drop. Oh, I forgot to mention, I think it was this episode, I wasn't even really paying attention, but I ran around like all day without my horse. You know, like the entire way around town I went without the horse. Poor Seabiscuit. Just kind of left him in his stable. We gave him the day off. We'll say that. But anyway. See, the one thing about having all that grass that's kind of nice is, A, it's there for me to scythe as I need it, but B, it meant less space for these rocks and branches and stuff to spawn when the fall started. So that's good, because I didn't have to do a ton of cleanup for that reason. So, alright, it's getting late. Let's head to bed. And then tomorrow's not going to be nearly as busy. Excuse me. Tomorrow will be a pretty easy day, because it's pretty much, we got to find Penny and give her gift, and then either go mining or fishing depending on what the luck level is. So, sorry, I had to mute there for a second because my dogs are barking at somebody outside, and it was driving me bonkers. So I scolded them. But again, that was first day of fall is in the books, and it was a pretty productive one. We're not going to make a fortune out of it, but we did okay. And we got to remember to swing by the community center and drop off that mushroom. And then hopefully tomorrow we can find a hazelnut and drop it off while we're at it, because that would complete that fall foraging bundle. And we're knocking out bundles left and right. For the most part, let me look at it here on my tool. For the most part, basically what we're still looking for is the stuff that we need to complete the bulletin board, or the bulletin room, because it's a little bit harder to come by. The other stuff we pretty much just need to wait for the most part, because like common mushroom we have, hazelnut we'll find, the winter foraging bundle we'll find once it's winter, the fall crops bundle is underway, quality crops bundle is underway. We now have milk and 2 of the eggs on the way. That'll give us 3 of the 5 that we need for the animal bundle. And then a goat, sheep, and duck purchase will get us on the way to the rest of that bundle. So we're good there. I'll catch a tiger trout, hopefully today, because you saw it was not a very good luck day. So we're going to go fishing, hopefully catch the tiger trout, and we need a walleye, and that will actually complete the fish tank bundle. And what does that get us? What do we win? Oh, that removes the glittering boulder, which is not honestly a real big deal. Basically what that means is Um, hang on a second. Basically, what that means is there's a boulder up near the mountain lake by the caves, kind of, that is blocking the flow of water from the area by the mines. And when that boulder gets removed, gold can flow into the water. So you'll see these little sparkling spots in the water, and you just you can hit it with a gold pan and collect gold ore. Now you get the gold pan. It's a cutscene that gets triggered after that boulder is removed, and Willie gives you his gold pan. So, you know, like I said, or a copper pan, I should say. And it's not just gold ore. I think you can find iron, or copper, or sometimes iridium, but it's like very rare. You can also find some gems and other stuff. Like you can find coal a fair amount of the time. And in rare cases, you can find these ones here. Amethyst, aquamarine, diamond, which would be sweet because it's 500 bucks. Emerald, ruby, topaz, earth crystal, fire quartz, frozen tear, and omnigeodes. So, anyway, I don't always carry around the copper pan, although I guess I probably will in this playthrough, just so if we're out and about and see one of those things, we grab it. Just because it's just something else to do. I don't want to get too worked up with having like free spaces in my inventory just to have them, because we're not going to be doing a ton of stuff that's going to use up all of those spaces, except for like when we go to the Skull Cavern up in the desert. When we do that, we will want to have a pretty empty inventory, because when we go, we plan on being there like all day and racking up as much stuff as we can, which will be a bunch by the time we're done, hopefully. So, grab our fishing rod, we got our emerald, we got our mushroom to take to Penny for her birthday. So we're off and running, literally. And we remembered to bring our horse today, so that's good. Call it a win. We'll go over to the hidden forest, get our hardwood, and then I believe there's a point during this day where I pause to look up Penny's schedule, but I can't remember. Where we will ultimately look for her is down around the museum, because for a good chunk of the day she's over that way tutoring Jazz and Vincent, because it's a school day. So there's another common mushroom. So I guess while we're running around doing today's errands, I will talk about our plans for the next episode. And like I already mentioned, there's nothing that's like super critical that we need to try and accomplish, because we have some flexibility in the fall. Most of what we're going to be doing in terms of action items is going to be fishing and mining for the early part of the season. But tomorrow we will go to Marnie's and buy a goat. I think when the barn is upgraded, we can't do it today because she's closed, but I believe when the barn is upgraded, it unlocks goats. It might unlock something else too, but I believe it's just goats. So we'll buy one, and that will get us on the way to being able to get our goat's milk, which is, that would give us 4 of the 5 things we need for the animal bundle. And then our next barn upgrade will give us access to sheep and pigs, and we will try and buy one of each. Big barn, yeah, sheep and pigs. How much do sheep cost? Because pigs are 16 grand, sheep are 8 grand. and that will give us the ability to collect a wool. And you combine that with the goat's milk once we get a large goat's milk, and that should complete the animal bundle. And get us really close to finishing that pantry, right? Yeah, because we'll have hopefully the 5 quality pumpkins that we need. And that'll be on the 14th, I believe, of the season. And by that time, we'll have all of our fall crops. That should complete the, that will complete the pantry and give us the greenhouse, which is awesome. So I am happy to know that roughly halfway through this season, we're going to have a greenhouse. And that means we can... I really need to get an ancient seed, y'all. Because I need to plant some ancient seeds in my greenhouse and start my ancient fruit empire. So that kind of stinks that we've made it this far and have been our fishing tackle worn out. So we'll need to swing by Willie's at some point and get a couple more trap bobbers. Anyway, why don't we, while we're sitting here fishing, discuss our fun fact of the day. And today's fun fact is that for you sports fans out there, if anybody out there listening likes tennis, this is an interesting tennis factoid. So Wimbledon is, you know, arguably the biggest tennis tournament of the year. It's one of their major tournaments, and I believe there are 4. Anyway, Wimbledon tennis balls are kept at precisely 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's because the temperature of the ball affects how it bounces. So at warmer temperatures, the gas molecules inside the ball will expand and make the ball bounce higher, because it's kind of like having a basketball that's fully inflated. A tennis ball at lower temperatures will cause those molecules to shrink, and it will be basically like a basketball without being full of air, so it doesn't bounce as much. So to make sure they get the precise amount of bounciness, they keep them at 68 degrees. And here is another crazy fact. The Wimbledon tournament goes through over 50,000 tennis balls during a single tournament, which, let me see how long that lasts. How long does Wimbledon last? 14 days. So it's basically in 2 weeks they go through 50,000 tennis balls. That's basically 3,000 balls a day, y'all. That's just bonkers. Anyway, tennis is one of those sports that if you're athletic and watch people play tennis, it is impressive, some of the stuff that they can do. Now, it's not my favorite sport, not by even a long shot. But when you see, like a really good tennis rally, it is impressive what those athletes can do, both men and women. So, anywho, we got our salmon, we got our tiger trout, and I was going to stick around and try and catch, what's the other one? The walleye, because it's available after noon. But then I looked and I realized it's got to be raining. So the next time it is raining, we will try and catch that walleye. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the forecast was calling for rain tomorrow. So that might be on the list of things to do. Regardless of the luck, if it's raining, I want to catch the walleye. And since it's only available after noon, what we might do is try and catch the albacore in the morning at the ocean. So our day tomorrow is becoming pretty active. I'm pretty sure it's going to rain if I remember right. So basically what we'll do is we'll get up, we'll take care of the stuff real quick around the farm that we absolutely have to. Oh, you see there, I got a Neptune's glaive out of the chest, and that's the weapon. You could see how powerful it was. That's the weapon that I was talking about, like in the first episode or two, when I was doing a bunch of fishing. That if we could have got that, oh, that would have been a game changer. Because it, for a weapon that you can get for free that early in the game, it is like, you know, half as good as the Obsidian's Edge. And can you imagine how much, easier it would have been in the upper levels of the mines with that thing instead of that rusty old sword and then the lead rod that we ended up with? But anyway, there's a sea cucumber, so we knocked that one out. And what was the other ocean fish? Albacore. But we'd have to be here after 6 to catch it. So that's when I decided, I'm not going to wait around to do that, because we still need to get up to the community center and drop off the, or did we already do that? Did we already go to the community center? Look out, Lewis! Ugh. Move! He wouldn't move. And then I get stuck on garbage sitting in the middle of the courtyard there. Hey, Emily, what's up? Oh, she bought the tastiest blueberry from Pierre, and Pierre said he grew it. So Pierre is spreading lies, because I'm pretty sure Pierre does not have a garden of any kind. And now he's taking credit for my high quality blueberries that I sold him. And we might need to have some words, y'all. Okay, so there's the tiger trout. That one's done. So bundle complete for the river fish. Now we only have one fish left to complete the fish tank, and it's the walleye. So if we can catch that tomorrow, that will complete the bundle there. And they call it night fish, even though, I mean, it's technically, you can only catch it in the later part of the day, but it's from noon on, so it's a pretty wide window to be able to catch it. Alright, so there is our mushroom. Now we just need a hazelnut there. And is there anything else that we have in our inventory that we can drop off? Excuse me. I think that's it. Okay. But the community center is still coming along pretty well. I am pleased with our progress and still feel pretty good about our chances of completion if we can just get that stinking red cabbage. So, what's up, Maru? How you doing, girl? Alright, now what do we do? We'll do just a sweep up here to the north and check for some forageables or whatever. And I think I grabbed the furnaces while I'm up here, if I remember right. Oh, maybe I don't. But whatever. I do need to bring those furnaces back to the farmstead at some point. Nothing up there by the train tracks, and we still, gosh, we unlocked that area. Well, I guess it unlocked like the second or third day of. Ooh, there's a hazelnut. So that's good. So that'll complete the fall foraging bundle. But we still haven't heard a train come through town, and it's been like a whole season. And it is pretty random, but if we hear it and are anywhere near where we can get to it, we'll try and do so. The mine carts can kind of help with that, where like if you're at the beach, for example, and you hear the train, you can run up to the mine carts by Clint's, take them to the mines, and then run up and maybe catch the end of the train. But anyway, hopefully we just happen to be like right up there by Robbins and hear the train whistle and swing up there and have a huge payday in terms of them dropping all kinds of goodness. So, plus in general, it's just kind of cool to experience or witness the train coming through. So we'll try and do that when we get a chance. Alright, so we got some hazelnut. We'll take one to the community center and save the others. And I'll need to build a fall chest. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know what's going on with my cough. Actually, I think I already did build another chest, didn't I? Separated some stuff out. Yeah, we did. Almost sure of it. So we're kind of trying to just get organized here. And now we can drop some stuff in the bin. We'll head over to the community center and then up to the Adventurers Guild to drop off that Neptune's glaive. So moving it there to my current bar so I don't forget about it. We're going to go to the mines using the minecart. Yeah, okay. Get the stinking furnaces. Now, I'm thinking, should I just bring back that chest? I probably should, but it's actually nice to have up there just so you can dump stuff in it. If you get to the mines and you already have like half of your inventory full, you'll want to have that chest there. So, anyway, got some decent cash for the Neptune's glaive. And no, don't go in the mines. There you go, buddy. Head back to the bus stop, get Seabiscuit, and go home. Please go home. No, oh, community center. Community center and then home. I promise. Why am I going this way? Okay. Whew. I thought I was about to break my promise. Promises are meant to be kept, not broken. So, fall foraging bundle will be complete. We'll get some fall seeds for that, and we'll just drop them in the bin when we get back to the farm. And I bet you they sell for close to 1,500 bucks, so that's good. And we just need the snow yam and crocus to complete the pantry, and that'll get us the bridge repair, which will give us access to the rock quarry. Now, the rock quarry can net you some really good stuff when it's first accessible, because there will be a whole bunch of, ore and such. Sometimes you can get lucky and get like a prismatic shard or a dinosaur egg, but we'll see when we get there. A prismatic shard would be fantastic. A dinosaur egg would be fantastic. Now, a lot of people who have never played, anyway, we'll cover that next time actually. So we're gonna hit the sack here, but drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below, and we will see you all next time.